Do you remember that joke, that first joke that made the random person in Montana laugh? Because first of all, I just got to say again, and this is if anybody in Montana hears this, they'll probably either laugh at it or they're going to be pissed, but I don't know. But like, I'm just imagining a Montana laugh. That like has to feel really good. Like LA, they fake laugh all the damn time, or the Bay Area, anywhere in California, really. I'm in Florida, so I'm not, trying to downplay that. They fake laugh all the time. But in Montana, if you get a laugh in Montana, that's a laugh. That's like a real legit laugh. And it's probably from like the gut.
Oh yeah, definitely belly laughs from all four people that were there.
That's a packed house, man.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Place was at capacity. Oh, they're all gonna hate me if they hear this.
But do you remember that joke? Do you remember what that joke was?
Yeah. So I ended up getting up there and I told a story about when I worked at a gas station in college. And the whole point of the joke was I had a nemesis when I worked at the gas station. He was like my Newman. I don't know if you watch Seinfeld.
No, yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Newman.
So every now and again, this guy would come in and steal from us. But the thing that always blew me away was this guy, like, clearly knew what he was doing too. Like, I'd argue he was probably a professional at some point. He knew where all of our cameras were. He knew when my rush was and just the perfect time to come in every time. So he'd have his face hidden. He'd go back into our beer cooler, grab a 12-pack of Bud Light, and then go wait in line until I was distracted and bolt out the door. And I mean, this guy even had a getaway driver.
What?
Yeah, right? This was just the most insane thing I had actually seen working at this gas station. And this happened every now and again. It was just some little mom and pop gas station, and I swear it was the only place he ever hit.
It's super weird.
Right. And to some degree, I'm kind of impressed. I mean, he put a lot of effort into it and he pulled it off. So props to him, I guess. But I can't imagine all that effort being worth $12 worth of beer.
No, not beer. Bud Light. Bud Light is not beer.
Oh yeah. Well, and if he's stealing a 12-pack and he's got a getaway driver, he's not even getting 12 beers out of the deal.
Exactly.
And I mean, I don't know about you, but I cannot remember the last time that I felt drunk drinking half a 12-pack of Bud Light.
I can.
I don't know if there was ever a time.
I can. I can tell you the last time that I got drunk drinking about a half a 12-pack of Bud Light would have been coming back from like deployment. You know what I mean? You haven't had a drink in like, depending on how long you've been gone, 6 to 8 months or whatever else it is, and you get that first Bud Light or whatever else it is, and you're like, well, oh man, tonight's not going to go well. It's going to be a long night for sure. And it was. So.
Oh, I could imagine.
But that's insane to me. Like you said, that this dude is doing all this planning. He's doing all these things. He has a getaway driver. He's doing like just for a 12-pack of Bud Light. Like, again, kids, if you're listening to this, first of all, don't fucking listen to this, but don't steal. But if you're gonna steal a 12-pack, come on, like do something a little bit more grand. You're getting away with it repeatedly. Why are you stopping at the 12-pack? Like, but I mean, that's exactly why he's getting away with it. The guy's a genius. He knows his limits, and that's crazy. You don't have the wherewithal to not steal, but you have the self-control to only steal this much. It's like he knows the laws and he's trying to like stay under some threshold. It's crazy. This is mind-boggling. I want to start a documentary on this now.
Right? You'd think a 12-pack of Bud Light and a 30-pack of Budweiser is the difference between prison or something.
Yeah.
But what really blew me away about the whole thing was there was a Radio Shack a block away. Dude could have, with that level of effort, dude could have gone, stolen a TV, pawned it at the pawn shop literally next door to the Radio Shack, and then just come and bought beer.
Yeah, but you can't drink a TV. So he has to
Right,
he has
exactly.
to use his
That's what.
ill-gotten gains. He won't resell. He's like, I have to use it. I just now see this is what I'm doing. I'm gonna turn this whole thing into a true crime podcast now and just like talk about how this guy was the like most ethical thief. Like he had all these principles and rules he's following, and that's what allowed him to continue. He's probably still does that gas station still exist, do you think?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's still there.
So he's probably still hitting it. Like
Oh,
he's still
guaranteed.
like that's crazy. I
I'm
love it.
convinced the guy had an inside man too, because it seemed like he was only picking on me because I was the new guy.
That's
And
freaking
so I
nuts.
bet you every time he hears there's a new guy working the night shift, all right, time for another heist.
Yeah. And I like that he calls it heist, by the way. So he's back in like his garage with like the how they do it with the map and like all those strings.
Oh yeah,
and
he's got the blueprints. He's got some killer music going on because of course every heist movie has the best soundtrack.
Absolutely. Dude.
I got to imagine there was like some cool moment between him and his getaway driver when he recruited him for the job.
You know what? What if we like you find out it's not even a getaway driver? The dude didn't know he was stealing it this whole time. He thought he was just buying it. Because just like you, he's like, it's $12. Of course he's buying it. Like, yeah, go in. Like he's just the guy who drives him. And he has no idea what's going on. And he's an accessory to like 30 thefts or whatever.
Oh God. That's almost worse.
But it's hilarious because that would be me because I'm like, he's been stealing. I'm like, steal, what'd you steal? And they're like, oh, a 12-pack. A goddamn 12-pack? We're getting pulled over by the cops and possibly going to jail for a 12-pack, Bob. Jesus Christ.
Actually, you got a point. If you told them beforehand, it might have been a liability.
It's definitely a liability. I'm like, dude, take the $10, whatever the hell it is, and buy the 12-pack, you cheap son of a bitch. It's ridiculous. I like it though.
I mean, if you're resorting to stealing Bud Light, I mean, is that really the worst of your financial problems at that point either?
No, in my head, this guy's a thrill. He's doing it for the thrill. He's like those soccer moms who are on pills who just steal like $5 knickknacks just for the thrill of getting caught or whatever. That's what this guy. He has to be. This is insane.
Yeah, you make a fair point.
That's what I'm going with. That's my theory. I want to start like a whole, to what's that show called? How the Avery guy and everything. In Wisconsin or whatever, who like something murderer, right? Making a murderer. I don't remember.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So that I'm going to start a documentary series based upon this one guy, and we're all going to figure it out. And then I'm going to interview him. And he was like, "What?" It's like, "I just like beer." And that's the whole story. Like, well, you just ruined this shit.
That's probably all it is too, because Bud Light's considered good beer up there too.
Dude, that's so depressing to me.
Like, right.
So because here's let's go stereotypical again for a second, right? Montana. You picture a man in Montana. That's like the cowboy lighting a match on his cheek, doing like all this hardcore, hyper masculine shit. And then you've got a hipster who is like very, very soft and hasn't worked a day in his life and everything like that. And he drinks more manly beers. Again, stereotypically, he drinks more manly beer than a dude in Montana who's drinking Bud Light. I'm a simple man. I like simple beer. That's all I need. It's goddamn water. I make fun of my mom. My mom drinks Bud Light, and so when she comes over to visit, I'll buy her some. And she was like, "Hey, can I get a water, please?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I got." And I bring her the Bud Light because she knows it. I don't respect it. I don't take it seriously.
I mean, to be fair, those manly Montana men probably drink a lot more Bud Light than I drink craft beer. So
true.
I'll give them that.
That is fair, but it's like it's just economically a bad choice. If you're drinking 30 of these things, maybe have one shot of whiskey or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you doing? This is killing me. But man.